The total package Lex Luger made a rare appearance in the podcast world on XPac's Pro Wrestling for Life podcast. His new podcast that he has now, the XPac 12361, is done. He's now doing Pro Wrestling for Life. He's got Nick Hausman co-hosting with him, so brings a little bit more of a host sound to it because, of course, Waltman is great as he is more of a conversationalist, not a host. He had Luger on, and they had a great conversation. Apparently, they were pretty good friends. That's not something that I knew, but apparently they were good friends and riding buddies at one point. So they had a really good conversation. There was a lot of I had like a few clips picked out from this that I wanted to use. So I just recommend listening to the whole thing. But I do want to show you this clip here where Waltman and Luger were talking about when Luger made the jump over to WCW during the Monday Night Wars, when he made that surprise appearance on the very first episode of Nitro. Check this.
Next thing you know, there you are on the first episode of Nitro. No, no one would like. You didn't like.
They had to back me out of their syndicated shows in WWE. I was on their show the following Monday, and I was in Moncton on Sunday.
Yeah,
I had a tag match against Sean and Razor, and then the next night I was in Minneapolis and walked out.
Yeah, and I saw you there too.
But Bischoff and Sting.
Yeah, I saw you there. I saw you there too because I was living there at the time, and I went to the Marriott and saw you at the hotel. I was happy for you.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I had some misgivings at the time because the way I had to leave without giving notice, and I had such a good relationship with Vince. Contrary to popular opinion, my whole time there, he had me in his home, and we worked out together. So to leave, the one stipulation Eric had, because by then the internet was just starting to blossom, not like today's social media by any stretch of imagination, but it was hard to keep a secret. So Eric wanted it to be totally secret. To leave because I was still negotiating on a handshake to stay at WWE, and for me to walk out there and not give any notice to Vince, I looking back now, I wish I hadn't done that. I did what I thought was best at the time for my career, me, myself, and I. But hopefully, if I'd done it again, I wouldn't have done that to Vince. I even back then felt really bad about that.
It's just but like looking at the situation, Lex, like. Would it have worked if you'd have told him?
Well, no, but it would have been the right thing to do.
You're right.
I mean, one of my mentors tells me, Lex, there's never a right time to do the wrong thing. There's never a wrong time to do the right thing. So I would hope now, if I could do it again, that I would have done it the right way and just said, Eric, if you don't want to bring me in, I'll just re-sign with WWE and whatever storylines you have for me there, I'll renew for 2 or 3 years. But I'd have to give my notice.
I wish Luger would have talked about why he made the decision to make the jump. He says he kind of regrets it, or at least regrets doing it the way that he did. I wonder what Vince was actually offering him, or what it was he was so salty about, because from Bischoff's perspective, Bischoff's been on record many times talking about how he didn't even want Lex to come to WCW, so he certainly wasn't like courting him or trying to steal him away, because he said he never really liked Lex from working with him the first time. He also said that he offered him a pretty low ball contract compared to a lot of the other guys on the roster. It wasn't anything to write home to mom about, but there was something that made Lex just want to leave, because otherwise, why else would you go somewhere where you're not really wanted to begin with and you're not really even getting all that good of a deal? But that move certainly did change the course of professional wrestling. Now, certainly Bischoff would have pulled something else out of his ass because he was hell-bent on doing so. He might have had something else that night, or at least somewhere in the near future he would have. Obviously, the Hall and Nash would have still jumped, but that was really the first shot fired, in the Monday Night Wars, night one. Lex Luger, he was still going to appear on WWE TV. He still had matches in the can that were scheduled to be on TV. He was working on a handshake deal and just bounced and didn't tell anybody. A lot of people have a lot of things to say about Lex Luger and say that he's very shady, or was very shady, and you know, didn't have a lot of great things to say about him back then. But a lot of people speak very highly of him now. And just listening to this podcast, this was the first time I really got a chance to hear the new Lex. And he does sound just more humble, more relaxed, more chill, very respectful, very self-aware, very understanding. Like he had an awakening, you know, like he just changed as a person. And I imagine you would, you know, once you end up in a wheelchair and shit like that. But they really got into some interesting topics. Lex talks about the Yokozuna thing. He talks about the Horseman. He talks about the Narcissist run. He talks about the WBF and how even they kind of use that as a loophole just to kind of get him into WWE. Steroids, really good conversation. Highly recommend you seek this one out in particular. Make it a part of your everyday listening, or at least listen to this one. That's Pro Wrestling for Life with Sean.
Oh yeah, thanks for checking out the video. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like it if you liked it. Yeah. You can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on the channel. Ooh yeah, dig it!